What's up there, fellow YouTubers? This is Chris from the Anomalies channel. I've got a picture today that's pretty cool, and I need your, your eyes on this. I need your, throw a comment there. Tell me what you guys think this is. This is from the Opportunity rover, and it was on from Sol 3487. It's a panoramic camera that this was taken by, and it appears to be some kind of, oh boy, I don't even know what I'd call them. I don't know if this was manipulated to begin with, which we know, these guys would never manipulate their pictures, but it's hard to tell whether these things are just wreckage. They look like modern day flying things, or just flat out machines, machine parts. It doesn't look like just rocks. I mean, they have some really kind of intricate, details that just really kind of stuck out to me. And so this is the picture you'll get, and here it is. There's your JPL picture here, and there it is right there. Opportunity Panoramic Camera, Sol 3487. You can just click on the full image down here, and it'll take you right there. And you can, of course, you can zoom in. Like I said, if you wanted to zoom in right here, and then you can just use your control button, and then go do your plus and minus, and you can really zoom into these. Or you can just flat out just keep the picture like this. Go to your computer. If you do have the magnifying feature, use the magnifier and go over this thing. You'll find some pretty amazing stuff. But I'm going to show you a couple things that I found that kind of stuck out, and it just, one way you go, yeah, it's just a rock, but then you just see these really funky features, and you just go, man, it makes it a little hard to believe it's a rock. And there's a lot of little details in there, and I'll leave that up to you guys to check this out, because I don't want to really make this a long one. Sometimes people don't want to sit through a long one. Some people do, and they don't mind, because there's a lot of good information in these things. So just watch the thing through, and like I said, you tell me. Okay, this is what I've got here, and I'm going to jump in a little bit. There's a couple things that one thing that just stuck out that was like, if you look in the background here, it just looks like these weird machine parts, call them what you will. Like in the back here, you go, well, they look like rocks. And again, I'm zoomed in right now to 200%. So yeah, you're not going to see much. But let's blur it up and kind of get rid of some of the bad edges. But the first thing I noticed was right here. See this weird, like this kind of rounded thing? And it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It looks like some kind of vented area or some kind of weird thing. I don't even know how. It's like, see how like this, you can't make out what these are, but there's some kind of weird part right here. See it? It's got like this, it's like concave right here, but it goes along and it just kind of comes over to here. I don't know what this was. Now keep in mind, just to let you guys know, I've been a tool setter for 15 years, and I can tell you what I know what machine parts look like. Now, granted, if these are machine parts from Mars and these people from this planet, yeah, they may not have the same exact parts as we had, but I know a little bit about machines. Anything from CNCs to drop presses, force slides, OMCGs, Videxes, and just these weird machines from all over the world that that I worked on and assembled for certain jobs. So yeah, I've got a little background in machinery, and of course it doesn't make me an expert on this stuff, because obviously it might be different here on Mars. So, but anyway, it appears to be. Look at this, like in the back, it looks like some kind of weird shaped, machine. See how it kind of goes up and over, comes down over here, and whatever this is in front of this, I don't know. But see how it's got this weird round part right here, almost like it's some kind of vehicle just sitting there. See it? Oh, some kind of piece of machinery or some kind of whatever this was is just blown to pieces. As far as I'm concerned. But you can see these right here. If you look up in the left up here, just these weird, and these, and I'll tell you when it's inverted. You can see right here on my list when I invert it. So it's just pretty wild. That there was pretty neat, and see, this is what really hides this stuff. And if you try to zoom in even more so, it just really throws it off here. See this? It's crazy. You just don't see much of anything. But if you look here now, you can just see that it's like some kind of vented machine part or some kind of intake of something, or it's just some kind of, maybe it was a statue. Who knows? Maybe it was just simply a statue. But when I see these things like this here, and just these parts laying around, and see this right here, and just kind of comes down right here, and you can just see whatever it is goes around, and it's just like, it's got like this pointed piece, and then see how it's just like rectangular opened kind of thing. And like I said, this here in the background. Then I got to this here, which I thought was pretty wild. It looks buried, as far as I'm concerned. This right here. And you can actually see it's got something right here. It's just the edge of it. And see how it's got this mounded area to it? So it's either A, been buried, or B, they kind of threw their own thing on it, because look at this. Even when you look at this smooth part right here, and it's part of whatever this is, okay? But you got to look at the intricate details. This is what I thought was pretty wild. And when I say intricate details, I mean like this here. It almost looks like, if you know anything about cars, looks like an alternator. And I'm not saying that's what this thing is. It could be an intake or something, or again, like a smaller version of this big thing back here. See it? Okay, and then it had this kind of round part to it, the shape. Well, look at it. It looks like a miniature version of whatever that is. Now, I'm not sure that's what it is. I'm just saying. But see how like that got smoother as soon as I blurred it out? See how it's like just grainy? It doesn't look like much of anything. But like I said, right here, and it's got 1, 2, 3 that we can see, like the pot, and it's rounded. It may be part of this actual unit. And it looks like there's something right here, like some kind of inlet. See how it just, you can't really see much of anything, but it's right there? Okay, and this is right here. It looks like it's part of whatever this is. And you can just see a nice smooth corner to it. And just, you know what I mean? So it's just like, are these rocks? No, I don't believe they're rocks. I just believe there's something else. I believe they're machine parts, flying machines, or it doesn't necessarily be flying machines, but it could be some kind of vehicle. You know, like I said, anything that's like a hovercraft glides across the ground for all we know. I don't know. Or it's just simply just machine parts. This part here is just not a rock. I mean, come on. This is too smooth. This is a rock. These are rocks. That's not a rock. This stuff that might just been falling over this thing. I mean, you can actually see where it looks like almost like it gets bigger here. 1, 2, 3. And it kind of goes around. See it right here? You can just see like this part of it sticking out. This whole top piece sticking out. It's crazy. I don't know if they did this to try to blend it in, or it's just rocks that just over the years fell on top of it. I don't know. Like back here, look at this. I don't know what that is, but it has this weird, is it a rock? Possibly. Sure. There's some kind of rectangular opening here and something right here. We don't know if this is a lot of stuff that's just been buried there or what it is, but this is another thing that threw me right off too, and this is pretty neat. I thought this was neat. Let me just zoom on here a minute. This piece right here, this appears to be some kind of flying machine, some kind of highly technology kind of thing, technological kind of machine part, and I didn't think much of it as, I just thought it was just simply a rock. And most people would say, well, it is, you know, but in closer inspection, not so much. I'm going to zoom into it. I'm going to even do 300% on this. Now, I'm looking at this thing, and I'm just going, wow, it's just kind of odd how it's got these weird shapes to it. Okay? And there's some other things around the back here, too, that's just weird and stick out. It's actually all over this ground. But now watch what happens when I blur this thing up. Okay, now you go, all right. What stuck out for me is look at these pieces right here. There's 3 round circles. I don't know about you, but it appears to be either vents, engines, some kind of way. I've never seen a rock that has 3 almost perfectly good shaped openings to it. Here's the other thing. It actually comes out to here and comes down. Goes up to here and comes down. And it's been blotched out here, but it looks like some kind of weird stuff going on there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to invert it for you guys so you can see the opposite side. All of this lighted part will now be dark, and this will be vice versa. This will be all light. Okay. Now see how it looks like there's 1, 2, 3, and it's got this weird opening in the back. But look at the radius on here. Okay, and it also does the same over here, and you can actually see the line of this thing like it's metal. I'm going to say, guys, this is definitely not a rock. I mean, you know, you can say it's a rock if you like, and that's fine. You're welcome to your opinion. I don't believe it is. There's some stuff back here, too. Say it's like metallic. And even though this is, you know, if you notice, look at this. You can see something right there, and there's something right here. It's metallic. And then when you put the regular picture, not so much. You don't see anything. So it makes you wonder if some of this stuff has been inverted or just the way they doctored it up. Here's another thing that's hidden. And I don't know if this is strictly a rock, but it's pretty good rock. Base image, this piece right here, it's rounded and has something sticking out of it right here, some kind of box type thing. Watch this. See how it's just like almost perfectly round sitting right here on the ground. It's got this weird thing sticking up out of it. Like if you've seen like a UFO, like a lot of these UFO sightings kind of thing, it looks round kind of thing like that. But see how it's like blended in to make it look like it's nothing much there. Now look right here, you can see the edge of it. Then you can see, like, I'm just trying to show the opposite side. Now, this is not the real picture on this one. You can almost tell, but it actually shows, like, an edge of this thing, and then it just stops. And that's the end of that. See it right here? And then it's, like, see how it's, like, it's almost, like, ghosted out some of these things. Like, some of these things have been placed there and some haven't. Or it's just because they just really went through this thing and just put a lot of contrast, and by just simply flipping it, inverting it, you just happen to see better outline because now it's not so bright. But I mean, this here, I thought this is kind of wild. Look at this; it's like this horseshoe type thing. Look at this. See how like it's got this flat area, one right here, side to side, and but it actually comes out like this and comes up to the front, and it's got some height to it. Now what that is, I really couldn't tell you. I'm gonna re-invert it again. You really can't see it right here, but you can actually still see it's whatever it is outlined right there. So that I thought that was kind of weird too. You know, I mean, look at this thing way in the background here. It looks like there's some kind of opening, comes down, goes up, comes up in the top. Two little round things on it. You know, you can still see it, but see how like the two openings now look white, like they've inverted this, like somehow this whole thing was inverted, or it's just crazy. How does this go from this kind of ground to this kind of ground? See it? I mean, lightness is one thing, but it looks like it's totally different. Of course, it is in the distance, and I get that. But see how it's just got these weird shapes to it. Look at this thing. Goes up, comes back down. It's got some kind of weird thing here. Now, you guys can, like I said, use a magnifier. It might actually help you guys. But like I said, let me just back out of here. Okay. I'm trying to remember there's some other wild things in here too. Or just things that just stand out that look like machine parts or something other than a rock. Let's just put it that way. Because sometimes it's just hard to explain these things because you just really truly don't know what these are. Like this was just kind of strange. Look at the way this thing comes down. Just kind of, you can just see it's been manipulated somehow. It's just goofy looking. It just doesn't make sense. Look at this weird little opening right here, rectangular. Okay, you say it's a rock. Okay, what about this right here? Now watch what happens when this part on the right-hand side. Watch when I invert this piece alone. Watch this. Suddenly it's got like this, you can actually see what's like a rectangular box kind of thing, and it has an opening. Then there's something here. I don't know what these are here. This might be just simply just rocks. But see how it's got this weird shape kind of thing going right here? And it looks like it's got this weird slotted area or something. I don't know what that is. I mean, but if you look around, there's a ton of pots in here. It just doesn't make sense. See how it's open there? It's just got this weird opening, but yet it just looks simply like a rock. How about this thing? This looks goofy. Watch this. See how it's just got like this double hump thing going on? And got this weird opening, or whatever this is up in here. Okay. See it? See, it's got some kind of openings or something right there, and it's got this double hump thing going on, and something right there in front of it. I couldn't tell you what this stuff is, but it's there. And see, sometimes it's so bright that they try to hide these things on you, so the best thing to do is try to invert it. Because see this pot right here? Because of all this, you just can't see this, but if you invert it, it's there. It's absolutely there. Look at this right here. It's got some weird flat thing right here. It's got this is a roof of some kind of small little vehicle, machine, part, or look at this, just these weird spaces right here, like there's something right here. Some of the stuff looks molten. See how it just looks like this big blob kind of thing, like just hanging off the edge of this. Like I said, it makes you wonder whether it was just like some real big time heat that just happened and it just blew everything to pieces. I mean, you just don't know. But you can just see just like this, just parts that look like just busted up, just stuff laying there. Look at this long piece here. Like I said, this part here, and then you just see like rocks scattered all over the place with it. You just can't tell. It's all just intermingled, and it's just really hard to make out whatever it is. But to me, this right here, and this is part of it, but you can see this way this runs off. See it? And you can see that piece here. 1, 2, 3, radius right there, and it looks like it gets bigger, like it's 1, 2, 3, and then that's it. You just see a bunch of this, whatever this is. But it's in the picture because no matter how you do it, it's still there. This piece here, this piece, this whole piece here, it's just there. So, like I said, if it changed drastically, it's been manipulated. That's all there is to it. At least in my findings, that's what I've always found. Look at this stuff back here, like how it just has these weird shapes to them, like. It's just crazy. Like I said, just I don't know. This right here was kind of wild. I like this because look at this the way that shows it. It doesn't. These are clearly not rocks. Now what they are, like I said, I couldn't tell you. I don't know. But like I said, this weird thing here, and then this kind of slopes up right here, comes across, comes down, goes across. Got this weird arch to it, goes down here, and it looks like it just kind of disappears. You can't tell what it goes into. But I don't know, guys. I mean, you guys tell me what you think this stuff is. I mean, look at this. Just kind of just squared off and with little round circles and things that are just, I don't know. They just stand out. That's why they call them anomalies. Just stuff that just doesn't blend with the actual background, or to me, just something that just doesn't flat out belong here. Again, NASA, JPL, ESA all say, hey, this is just a barren planet, man. There's nothing else here but that. There's no life. There's no nothing. Well, whether there still is life, we don't know. And as far as I'm concerned, there's absolutely was 100%, 110% was there. There was definitely life there, and it was modern. Now, people can disagree, and they're welcome to do that. But from what I've seen in a lot of these pictures I mean, people say, well, they're just rocks. Well, they're not all rocks. And some things you just kind of like 50-50 on, like you're on the fence about it. You can't tell what's what. But like I said, when you see these things in the background, just like right here, it just kind of goes up and down, and then these just as weird shapes in here. You know what I mean? It's just, I don't know. It's just crazy. Let me just blur it back up and see how it just comes down, and actually it looks like it's got another line that goes up and it goes across. Like there's some kind of weird little structure or something. I don't know. Here's that other thing when you invert it. That other thing right here. Where did it go? Man, they just blend these things in so good. Now right here. It's almost completely round. See it? You can actually see the outline of it right here. Invert it, and there it is. But it's got these weird structure, like I don't even know, it's parts of it. Let's call it that. There's something back here. I can't tell what that is. Kind of has that shine to it, and even like this, it still has it. See it? That's the regular picture. So I don't know. But to me, this pot here, yeah, this is not a rock. I think they doctored this pot up, and it's actually something laying there. Like this pot here over is actually the whatever this is. Look, see how it's got this weird thing right here on it. I don't know if this round piece is part of this in the back, or if it's part of this in front of this piece. I don't know. But like I said, see how it's just like perfectly rounded, and then it kind of goes across, and then it's like rounded again. See it? It makes you wonder what this thing is. If it's a rock, it's the funkiest looking rock I've ever seen. Let's just put it that way. I mean, it's crazy. But as always, I'm going to let you guys decide. I mean, let me know what you think. This right here. Like I said, it's just this weird, thing sticking out. Just, like I said, details. It's all about details. And you just don't know what you're going to find in these things until you really look at this stuff. Well, like I said, my main question is, bottom line is it intelligently made, or is it simply by nature? That's all the question you're going to answer. Even if you don't agree with what I say this stuff is, and like I said, a lot of times I say it just doesn't really matter. Some people will say, yeah, it absolutely looks like that. And some people will say, I see it's something else. But bottom line is, like I said, is it naturally made, or is it intelligently made? That's the only decision we got to make. And like I said, and that's a dead giveaway, because a lot of people will disagree and say, oh, you're wasting people's freaking time. Why are you doing this stuff? But here's the thing. If this is nothing more than just landscaping on Mars, why the black and white pictures? Why the blurring out? Why the, any kind of manipulations on here? If there's nothing on this planet to see, why is this stuff here? And why is it being manipulated? So the naysayers can answer that question for me. The people who got a little bit more common sense can answer, what they think it is. Because to me, it's just, there's so much evidence just saying bull. Absolute bull. This is 1,000%. There's stuff on this planet that just don't belong here, especially if they're just looking for microbial life. Come on. It's not just microbial life. I've seen things where there's actual rovers driving around. There's things all over or surrounding it. Some kind of objects, whether it be structures, vehicles, call it what you want, machine parts. There's just so much of it laying all over this place, it's almost impossible to say there's nothing here on Mars. Now, unless they're duping us all, and this is strictly just a, just another part of Earth, I don't think so. That part I don't believe so, because there's too many things here just look too funky, like there's something you wouldn't see on Earth. But who knows? Again, it's a 50-50 shot of anything on this. So, as usual, like I said, I'll go back into this one more time. You guys can tell me what you think. And, and like I said, I can leave it like this for a minute. You can pause it here if you want to. Use the magnifier. Go over this thing yourself. Tell me what you guys think, especially this area here. Like I said, if that's a rock, that's the funkiest rock I've ever seen. This is some kind of buried device, whether it be a machine, vehicle, something. this right here is part of something else? Are they machine pods? Are they up in here in the upper left? Is that machine pods? Is it rocks? I don't know, man. Unless they sculptured rocks into something to make it look like modern day anomalies, I don't think so. So, you guys tell me. I'm going to back on out of here, and as usual, you guys have the last word. You know what I mean? So, if you haven't, subscribed, do so. Always appreciated. I'm going to put a lot more of this stuff on here for you guys. I'm always finding something new. I've got pictures I haven't even gone through in the longest time, so God knows what I can pull out next. So, with that, I'm going to let you guys go. And like I said, as always, thanks for watching. It's always appreciated. So, you guys have a great weekend, and I will talk to you next pick.